Dylan Hutton from Hogo Game Day. I'm here with Mark Frye from the Northwood Panthers, former head coach and now an assistant. The Panthers are now the talk of the Hoga-Higgy District, 4-0, trying to get to 5-0 in the first time in school history. Got a big game this weekend, this Friday, against the Chilhowie Warriors. Can you give us a couple opening statements about how you feel about this game?
It's a big game for us, real big game. I mean, like I said, 4-0. We've never been 5-0 school history. Everybody's excited. Kids are pumped. I think the whole community. I think if you come over to Saltville Friday night, probably won't find nobody here in Saltville. everybody will be in Chilhowie. It is a big game. You know, it's one game of 10. You know, but to say it's our season, no, it's not our season. It's a game that you know, we need to win, and right now we're sitting number 1 in the West in points, and it's just a game that we need to win and maintain, you know, all the momentum we got going.
And you look at the season so far for your Panthers, they have played super efficient on offense, ball control. Defense has done well back there too, with Chris Greer and Brennan Turley both have a combined 7 interceptions. So the backside of that defense is pretty strong. The front 7's played well up to this point. They will be tested, I think, this week against Chilhowie's running game with Millsaps and Caldell. But where do you feel like the strength is of your team? I mean, offensively, you have been super efficient. If you keep that going, it's going to be back to the defense again this week. And I think whenever we look back at the Marion game, another talented team that you all played, the defense, I felt like, played the best game of the year in that one, holding Marion, holding Riley Blevins, Hunter Leffler, and Sam Wagner to 13 points. And do you just feel like the defense just needs to show up and have another outing like they did 3 weeks ago?
We do. These kids, like I said, we got a good senior group. It's the leadership is just tremendous. You know, you've been around the kids, you've seen them, you've talked with them. They're just confident kids. They waited on this. We feel like, you know, that the leadership that we have, we know what we got to do, and you know, we've come each week so far. We've come in, and defense we've been pretty strong. You know, like I said, we talked earlier about going to the 40, which we did this year. And the 40, we pretty much make it into a 5 or 6, whatever we want to make it. But you know, Chilhowie, they have a huge line. I think that's by far the strength of Chilhowie is their line. You know, they've always got that big line. You know, we've got to move it. We feel like we're more confident this year than we've been playing them, if that makes sense. We feel like we match up much better. You know, for the first time, we really feel like that our line is equal to their line. You know, in the past, we feel like their line has controlled the game. You know, that's last year. We feel like, you know, their line was as good as any line around. And, you know, this year we feel like our line is just as good as their line. And, you know, with that said, you know, we feel pretty comfortable in that situation.
Yeah, I feel like this game will be won or lost at the line of scrimmage. You know, you hear that a lot, but especially between these two teams, they both want to run the ball. They're more similar, you all and Chilhowie. The way I see it, there's 3 teams in the Hoga-Higgy that are very similar. Rural Retreat, Northwood, and Chilhowie. They all want to run the ball.
Yeah.
Now, Chilhowie's gotten to where they want to throw the ball a little bit more, and that might change the defensive game plan a little bit. But as far as that goes, the line of scrimmage is going to be the point of the game, very important, because both teams are trying to run the ball, control the clock. Now, I don't think Chilhowie wants to control the clock as much as you all will. I don't think it means as much to them.
Right.
But it's going to be one of those games. It's just going to be a physical, tough game. And I talked to Coach Robinson a little bit earlier in the week when we were setting up. He said that his team, he feels like it's battle tested. They've played some physical teams.
Certainly.
And their record really doesn't reflect, I don't think, how well they are. And like we were talking about before, it might be the only time, I don't know if it's just because of the past history of this rivalry game, but it seems like y'all are still the underdog, and being 4-0 heading to a 1-3 Chilhowie. So what do you feel about that? Do you just think it's because of the strength of schedule, or just the overall past matchups between the Warriors and the Panthers?
I don't think it's anything to do with our schedule or their schedule. You know, whether we're 4-0 or 0-4, they're 4-0 and 0-4. I think all this goes back. We haven't beaten them in 11 years, I guess. 11 years since we beat them. So, you know, we're the underdog and should be until we do beat them. Because, you know, until we beat them, you know, nobody's going to say, well, Northwood, they're not going to pick Northwood to beat Chilhowie. And, you know, that's well said and should be said. You know, we should be the underdog until we win. We got to show we can beat them. And you know, we're going over to their stadium, their homecoming, and we know it's going to be a dogfight. You know, they're going to put that big line up there, and they're going to try to stop the run because we run the football. That's what we do, and most teams in Southwest Virginia do run it. You know, most teams that run the ball, if they throw it 8 times a game, that's a lot for a lot of teams. And like I said, Chilhowie has thrown the ball more, which you know, the Delp kid, he's impressive when you watch him. He handles himself well, throws the ball well. But you know, when you do think of Chilhowie, you think of that power running game, and you don't think of the pass. You know, this year they have thrown it more, so that will be, you know, something different for us. We're sitting with 2 cornerbacks that have 7 interceptions. 7 interceptions. So that's, to us in a way too, that's our strength. Is we do kind of want the other team to throw the ball a little bit. We feel like those corners, we put them up there on an island, and you know, they've done a pretty good job. And you know, we'll see what Chilhowie has. I'm sure they're going to run the ball though. I mean, we're going over there thinking they're going to run it, and because that's what they do. And you know, they'll throw if they need to, but we really think they're just going to line up and they're going to try to knock us off the ball because that big line, it's big and it's physical. And, you know, we've got a big physical line also.
That being said, what do you feel like the mood is in the locker room with this team? I mean, there's been a lot going on behind the scenes as far as, you know, 4-0 start. Of course, the big win against Marion happened, and then you had the tragedy that occurred after the game. I feel bad not bringing that up because it seems like everybody in the district, their prayers were with the Bice family and with the Saltville community. And that was just, you know, we were here, and you know, you had the big win against the 2A school, but it seemed like that was just forgotten. It was so far long ago, even though it was just right at the end of the game, that it just shows that this community's pretty close here in Saltville.
It is. This community, everybody knows everybody. Tab was a special person. You know, I didn't know Tab until I got his boys in the 7th grade as middle schoolers, and they came in, and here's Big Tab, and I'm like, you know, I don't know. I knew Tab, but I hadn't really talked to him. And, you know, what's he like? Well, Tab was just a gentle giant. He was just a gentle man, and I miss him. I can't imagine, you know, how his boys feel, his family. But many nights, you know, he would come in after practice, and we would sit in the locker room, and we would talk. And you know, Coach Prater and Tab and myself, we'd be here many a nights, and his 2 boys, we'd sit there and talk 8 or 9 o'clock and just talk football. And Tab, that night he got here, like people don't know this, but Tab did so much for the community. He would work at the food bank right over here in town, and that day he had gone to Kentucky for the food pantry. He had gone and got a load of food, and he got back like early in the 2nd quarter. His boys, we talked about it, and they saw him pull in. They knew exactly when he got back, and he got here early in the 2nd quarter. And every time we would score, they said Dad would flip the lights on and off on the truck. He would be sitting right here, and you know, after the game, it was just such a roller coaster ride. It was a big win. You know, one of the biggest wins we've had here in a long time. It just and then the next thing you know, we go from this high to that valley low, and it's like, you know, life comes in perspective. You know, football's a game, but you know, you want to play it and you want to win, but you know, it put life in perspective really quick. And with Tab, it was just he would give anything he had. He done a lot for so many people, and I think that showed when this happened. The support that this community has given to that family is just, you know, it's unreal. It shows what Tab meant to us, and we really feel like Tab is still with us. You know, Tab will be at the game Friday night. He'll be watching the game Friday night, and you know, and I think it's even motivated the team more. You know, we want to play for tab even more too, and it was that night was just it was a night of emotion.
Yeah, it was a very up. Yeah, that's what. We still pray for the family and everything, and especially the Bice brothers right here on the team, the twins linemen for both the offensive and defensive lines. They're a pivotal part of the offense and a pivotal part of the defense. But with that being said, talking about how the seasons went so far, what's the mood in the locker room going into this Chilhowie game as far as what's different from other years with Chilhowie? You hit on this a little bit earlier about how it doesn't seem like they're looking at it as a, you know it's a big game, but they're not seeing it as like the national championship. They're seeing it as another game moving forward, trying to move on down the road here in the Hoga-Hegie.
Exactly. That's what we were saying. You know, years past, it was like it's Chilhowie. You know, the kids it's Chilhowie. We got it. Chilhowie's one game. You know, it's one game. You know, it's our rival. We want to win that game, but you know, it's one game. It's one game, and like these kids, I've not even heard Chilhowie this week. I'll be honest with you. I've not heard. We're playing Chilhowie from the kids. It's like it's business as usual. It's, you know, the seniors we have. Like I said, the leadership. We start 9 on offense, 9 seniors on offense, and I think 5, 6 on defense. But the thing is, it's just business as usual. It's you know, we come in, what we do on Monday, Tuesday we go offense, Wednesday we go defense, Thursday pregame, and there's been no mention of Chilhowie. It's just like it's another week. But now don't get me wrong. Come Friday night, it's going to be Chilhowie, and you know we're going to be breathing fire. I won't lie. We're going to come out, and because you know last year's game, it was it was a really good game for a half, and then you know just had a little things go on there that you know we felt like we had a good shot to win. Second half, it just didn't work out. So, you know, deep down, you know, I really think the kids have done great. And as coaches, we've not mentioned it. The kids haven't. But I know deep inside of them, you know, they're ready for Friday night. But it's been business as usual.
They're expecting a huge crowd Friday night. It's going to be one of the bigger Apple Bowls in recent years. Do you feel like there's any? I know you said that they hadn't mentioned Chilhowie, but in the back of their minds, do you feel like there's added pressure? Because you know they know by now that this could be the first ever Northwood team to start 5-0, and could it work out imperfectly that you have to beat a rival Chilhowie to do it?
Well, I think 5-0. I didn't even know until I think Coach Prater's son mentioned it last week that we could be 5-0 for the first time. I didn't know that. I think our best year was 03 team went 9-1. I didn't know how they started. I knew how we went 9-1, had a really good ball team. As far as 5-0 and pressure, no, the kids. I don't think 5-0 means much to the kids. I think the kids are looking at they're looking week to week, and I think the ultimate goal for these kids, you know, I really feel like they're looking to be playing in December. You know, people might say, well, you know, you're thinking Northwood's going to be playing in December. Well, you know, we really feel that. That's what we're believing, and that's what we're playing towards. Because, like I said, right now we are ranked number 1 in the West. You know, the points we're number 1, and you know, if you go into the playoffs and you can maintain that, and you got home field, then whoever beats you, they've got to beat you right here on this field. And but as far as the pressure, well, there's probably a little pressure, but I don't see it from our kids. I think they'll go over Friday night, and I think they're just going to line up, and you know, I think they're going to come out and they're going to give a tremendous effort. I really believe that.
Yeah, and I feel like this is one of those games where it can be a season-making game. I feel like if y'all win this game, you've got. Well, I know you don't like to hear. You know, coaches don't like for team. You don't want to hear other people saying, "Well, that's a sure win." But I feel like Northwood, you know, the way that the caliber they've played so far this year, I feel like if you beat Chilhowie, I don't think anybody else in the district is really. I mean, I would not be that would be favored other than George Witt to beat you all. Maybe it depends on how George Witt looks that week, but
exactly.
I feel like other than that, you're looking. If you get past Chilhowie, it seems like there's only one loss, maybe with George Witt, maybe.
Right.
And I mean, I feel like every other game you're going to be favored, and I feel like that could be a huge thing. This game could make a big difference in the way the season plays. ways out for the Panthers. But with that, our last question, what do you feel like the keys to the game are? A couple keys, one on offense, one for defense, and just one overall key for your team. Start with your defensive key for your team against Chilhowie.
Defensively, I think defense we've got to control the line. We can't let them line up and knock us off the ball. They've done that for I don't know how many years now. I think that's why they've beaten us. Coach Robinson does a good job. Before him, Coach Russell did. Coach Russell, he'd just line up, and we knew when they got in the red zone, here comes unbalanced right, power eye right. Here they come, and very few teams could stop it. That's what it was, and they've been so good up front for years. They've had that running back that can hit the hole and run, and they've never really been big backs. I don't think over there. They've been big in the line. They've had those backs to hit the hole so hard, and we've got to be able to stop the run game. And like you said, we haven't really seen them in the power game as much. We've seen them more spread out in an eye, but it's not going to surprise us at all if they do run the power, because that's who Chilhowie really is. When you get down to it, is a power team, and so we've got to prepare that they're going to get in that power game.
Now, what's your offensive key to the game as far as for the Panthers?
Well, our goal is, like I said, with the double wing, it's the third year that we've run it, and we're having success with it this year, tremendously with it. We've got to eat the clock. We want to eat the clock. We really, truthfully, we want to see a lot of points on the board. We feel like Chilhowie probably wants it low scoring. They are kind of like us in that they are going to move the ball methodically. They're going to eat the clock somewhat too, but we would like to eat the clock, and at the same time we'd like to bust a few plays and make it a high scoring game if we can. But like I said, we get whoever controls the line, I think, does win the football game. And Blake's going to be a big part. Blake's Blake's a great kid, and he's I feel like he's going to be the difference in that. Blake, where he tore his ACL 2 years ago, he was just so frustrated last year. He had to wear the big brace. He couldn't cut. He couldn't move. It's not the same Blake Oling.
Yeah, it's definitely a different Blake Oling, a different Northwood team here in 2014. Yeah, thank you, Coach Frye.
Thank you, buddy.
Letting us interview you.
Thank you.
And make sure you join us this Friday for Hogo Game Day live from Chilhowie High School, where the Northwood Panthers try to get to 5-0 for the first time in school history.
And we can take all the support we can get. So we want everybody from this side of the mountain to come over and support the Panthers and support these kids, because they work hard, and they want to see you there supporting us.
Thank you, Frye. The battle for 107.